Okay, I am live. Interesting. How in the hell do I always manage to block my own sign with my own fat fucking head? How do I do that? You guys can't see it on YouTube. They can't see all of it because I'm blocking it with my big melon-sized gourd. Although there's a part of me that thinks that if I put my phone on the other side, I might be able to, let's see. Okay, that really worked super well. That was fantastic. I'm sure glad I did that. All right, let's put this over here. And put this over here. Jesus Christ. You know I'm going to have to do this professionally. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. Got 120,000 followers on TikTok, and well, I'm still trying to figure out how to make this sideshow work on a very, very unprofessional level. So here's what I'm going to do. By tomorrow, at the very latest, I'm going to have this done correctly. Yeah, I know, that's my big fat hand. And there. And that's my big fat face. That's what I'm supposed to be looking at. Okay, so. Jesus Christ. What a mess. You still can't see the fucking sign. You know what it is? My fucking head's too fat. All right, well, whatever. I got a fat head. I'm not going to fix that tonight. There's no defattening miracle powder for my gourd. So there, big and corn fed. That's where you're at. You guys, big and corn fed. That's where you're at. Okay. By tomorrow, I'll have this figured out, including my new 4K camera, which I am not using. By the way, for those of you who are on here, you should be on there. You should be on YouTube. You know that, right? YouTube doesn't censor the same way that TikTok does. TikTok has been censoring the shit out of me lately. I mean, like kicking me off for everything I say. And I get it. Look, I'm no, lilting, whatever flower that is that they say. What is that? Wilting lily. Yeah, I'm not that. I say some things that could be misconstrued as really aggressive because they are. But, telling the truth is kind of important since it seems like virtually nobody does it anymore. Okay, so we started a war, and what happened to the price of silver? Not a damn thing. Nothing. Oh, now gold? Yeah, gold's up, but not by much, not by what you'd expect. Now, here's the interesting one. Oil. 69 up by 3%. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here because we should be in a situation where when you close the Strait of Hormuz, and let's face it, the first casualty of war is truth. We have no idea what's going on over there. None whatsoever. If you ask the Iranians, the great Satan's attacked them, and they're prepared for a years-long war. We have no idea what we're getting into. If you ask Trump, it's the most beautiful, biggest, best, most beautifulest attack ever. His attack is more beautiful than any other attack ever. Ever, period. Vlad the Impaler, nothing. This is more beautiful. This is more bigger. This is more biggest of all. It's true. I do have opinions. Oh. Well, that's, again, that's what it shows here. If you look at Al Jazeera or any of the others, they show crowds of people crying. Now, do I think that there are actually crowds of people crying over the loss of Ayatollah Khomeini? No. I don't think that most people liked him. On the other hand, hi Shirley. On the other hand, there's this thing that happens to people when they get attacked by another country. When we got attacked on 9/11, even though we didn't really stop for more than about 20 minutes to figure out who it was, we all banded together. There were no Republicans and Democrats that day. We were all fired up. Everybody. So my point is that what do you think the odds are that maybe there's a lot of people in Iran that are pissed? Not at us, but Israel, because they're not stupid. That's the problem, is everybody seems to think that Iran is a nation of 90 million cave dwellers. They're not stupid people, and they know why we're attacking them. They know this has nothing to do with the United States of America, because Iran has never attacked us. But the Sunnis have many times. The Sunnis being all of our, quote, friends in the region, like Saudi Arabia. 15 of the 19 hijackers. Now, I don't know what percentage 15 out of 19 is, but it's a lot. It's more than half. Well, I'm not real worried about the cells here. I think that is more just total Hollywood horse shit. I think that some deranged dude shot up a bar, and he had supposedly, I didn't see it, but supposedly he had an Iranian t-shirt on with an Iranian flag. It did say property of Allah on the outside. So how many black people have I seen in Iran? Let's see. Exactly none. 0, 100% nothing. Nada. Pinga. Dick. There aren't any Africans. So how'd they manage to pull the only African guy out of Africa, turn him into a one-man wrecking ball, and then send him to, of all places, the most liberal city in Texas? The only liberal city in Texas that I'm aware of. It just doesn't make any sense. But, hey, when you're slapping together a false flag operation, you just grab whatever you can. You use the materials you got. So it could be legit. I don't believe anything anymore. And anybody who does, they attacked the Marine barracks in Lebanon. You think that was the Shia? The chances of something serious popping off on U.S. soil just went from 0 to almost 0. A long position on oil. Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing about oil right now. It's only up 3%, which makes no sense whatsoever, because the Straits of Hormuz are closed. The Straits of Hormuz supply everybody except for us. We only get 15% of our oil from Saudi Arabia. Most people don't know that, but this is the kind of thing that you need to know if you're going to make decisions. U.S. is using an old playbook again. That's because A, it always works, and B, the American people, by and large, are just fucking stupid. They're just ignorant, and they don't care. They just don't care. As long as you don't touch their tribe. So you got the woke crazies over on one side that are babbling about how chicks with penises and dudes with boobs that can make babies, and it's biologically possible to shoot a fucking infant out of your ear regardless of your sex. And then you got the Bible thumping dipshits who never actually read the Bible, think that, well, Israel's just, the Jews are the saviors. Christ is second to Israel. And they don't have the slightest idea that the Talmud is the most horrific, disgusting amount of garbage you've ever read, specifically parts of it aimed at Christianity and how much they absolutely hate Christ. They killed Christ. Remember? Yeah. We don't talk about that much anymore. So, well, Eric, that was the whole point of having the other channel. So people would go over there and help me get that channel going. Because I always get a couple hundred on TikTok. That's not a problem. But the problem is words are backwards here. Yes, and not backwards on the other channel, which is YouTube. I know. What do you do, man? What do you do? Tens of thousands killed at regime protest a few weeks ago. Is that what they told you? Is that what they said? Because again, you're doing it. You're doing it again. What is the why? Oh, that is literally behind me. Of course, it's backwards for you because Tic Tac's backwards. But that's it. Big and corn fed. Thank you, Taz. Appreciate that. Yeah, tens of thousands. Wow, murder just in the streets, just billions and billions of innocent Iranians murdered by that one guy. He's that one guy who murdered everybody. You see what I'm doing? Oh, 30,000 dead. Holy shit. You see, it took Israel almost, what, a year to kill that many unarmed civilians? And they were using rockets and planes and bombs and guns and snipers, and it was just fucking genocide nonstop. And they killed that many people in a whole year. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to believe that the police killed that many of their own people with what? Batons? Oh no, they just shot randomly into the crowd. Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Shia Muslims just killing Shia Muslims. Yeah, it's bullshit. Come on, guys. Are we not grown-ups yet? Social distancing. It's 3 feet. You can't get sick if you stay 3 feet away. You know? And you wear the mask. But no, you don't wear the mask. You don't need a mask. No, well, okay, you do need a mask, and we lied because we wanted the masks, and we didn't want you to take all of our masks because we need masks, so fuck you. By the way, if you take the jab, you won't get sick, period. And okay, so you might, but if you do get sick, you cannot pass it on to anyone else. It stops with you. Saw Rachel Madcow say that, but the president said it too, so did the vice president. It stops with you. Don't be a selfish fuck. Get the jab. It's 100% safe and effective. Nothing could possibly go wrong with it. Trust the science, folks. Trust the science. Don't be those weirdos who don't listen to us. Those are weirdos. They're weird. They're not us. Look, we stick together. Show me any doctor who said that. Said what? Which one? I just said both things as a joke. So which one? That the jab was safe and effective? You didn't see Tony Fauci say that 100 times? Ooh, that's not good. Wandering Man, I'm really sorry to hear that. And yeah, the bullshit I'm spouting. Bullshit about what? Oh, you think the jab was effective? Safe and effective. That is crazy. It's crazy that you actually still hold on to that. Since the rest of us, like literally 90% of the people in the world, know that the jab was bullshit now. We know that. Science has clearly shown. Come on. I mean, I can literally look at people like Dr. McCullough, who have spent years studying this. And they talk about all of the medical problems that just exploded with the jab. And you're saying, no, that's not true. I just did, Brian. Who says that the jab is safe and effective? The government. Well, the government never lies to you, do they? Fauci didn't spend years don't understand. Didn't spend years. Huh. Dave's guitar. They censored you, man. Here, I'll uncensor you. There. Well, it's a funny thing you say that, Moon Monster. Did you happen to see that the CDC said that the amount of flu for that year was 0? What are the odds of that? There was no flu that year. Oh yeah, there was a pandemic, and everybody was dying. Like everybody my age, like every guy my age. If you had the high blood pressure, oh, you were dead. Dead. Well, I just recently went back to the CDC website and looked at those numbers again. The death numbers were crazy, weren't they? Totally crazy. No, totally dishonest. See, that's different. I went back and looked, and I had for a man in his mid 50s, the odds of you dying were 0.006%. Now, a 0.5% would be 0.5. 0.006 means about, I figured it out, it was something like 6 out of 1,000. So when you say cite the people who were lying, anybody who said that it was a deadly illness was lying. It was no more deadly than the flu. Absolutely not more deadly than the flu. The people who died from it almost exclusively had other problems. And by the way, the advice that we got was absolutely horrific. And if you don't know that, you're either stupid or you're lying. Because the reality is, when they checked, 85% of the people who were hospitalized with COVID were vitamin D deficient. And then they told us, stay indoors. Now, what's the best way to get vitamin D? Anybody? Look at that. I just got restricted for misinformation. Misinformation. Now, by the way, I'm citing the CDC. These numbers come from the CDC. So, Tic Tac, you are literally restricting my audience because I am talking about the numbers from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, maybe those numbers were made up by the CDC, but I'm having a hard time understanding why you would restrict me for talking about something that the Centers for Disease Control prints. By the way, just so we're clear, ivermectin is now, according to the CDC's website, an approved treatment for COVID-19. Now, we were told at the time that it was, and I quote, this is not misinformation there, Tic Tac. I remember very clearly that it was horse paste. Remember horse paste? Joe Rogan ate horse paste meant for deworming horses. Ivermectin. No, actually, Brian Liar, it was Biden's CDC, wasn't it? Oops. Oh, yeah, during the pandemic, looking up all those numbers, those were Biden's numbers because Trump wasn't president anymore. After we got rid of him because he didn't know how to handle the pandemic. Yeah. Then I started doing all this research because I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck's going on here? This doesn't seem right. Like everything's upside down about this. Well, guess what? It was upside down. And Fauci got to murder millions of people, in my opinion, and then walk away with millions of dollars. And there's still people out there stupid enough to defend him. That's okay. I am sure that those same people probably think that men can have babies. That's okay. That's totally, whatever. So here's my point. We've got all these people that are telling us all these things about what's going on in the war, right? No, you did not just look it up because I read on the website homepage that ivermectin was approved. More misinformation. Brian, if you're going to lie, buddy, you got to go. I don't mind arguing with people, but I don't like it when people just make shit up and lie. It's on their homepage. And just for the hell of it, let's report him for misinformation. Although it won't work. Okay. Oh man, this brand new super duper phone clamp thing I've got does not work. Well, it doesn't work very well anyway. All right. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is let's have a discussion, but if you just make shit up like, oh, it's not approved, it's approved. Oh, by the way, let's Google it. Is an approved treat for prostate cancer. Who knew? Um, uh, what the fuck? Does ivermectin have a place in the treatment of COVID? It says no. What? How's that even possible? Okay, hold on here. What are the odds that I went to a website that wasn't? No, it was the CDC. Well, I mean, it said CDC. Approved uses, specific human treatments, parasitic worms, head lice, skin conditions, very specific doses. What the hell? No demonstrated efficacy. Clinical trials, COVID 19. This is fucking weird. Well, it's just weird. Well, yeah, it's been used for horses, but it's also been used for humans for a long time. Okay. For treating COVID 19, the FDA approved. No, CDC. Is ivermectin approved for treatment of COVID? CDC. The FDA keeps taking me to the FDA. I don't want the FDA. I went to the CDC website. Okay, now way back in 2021, it said they warn against the use of ivermectin. This much I know. Okay, centers. Okay, when I got to find something that's newer than that. Ivermectin, no. They keep redirecting me to the Food and Drug Administration. I want the Centers for Disease Control. What the hell are the odds? CDC has issued health advisories warning the public about the rapid increase in ivermectin. Okay, that's from 2021. This was literally last year. Okay. This is crazy. Well, yeah, he took ivermectin, but that doesn't mean that they approved it. He took ivermectin and he had something else, mono something. What was that? He had something else that was experimental, but it was extremely expensive. Well, some people say it does. How many people regret taking the forced vaccine? Everybody I know. Everybody I know. Hydrochloroquine is actually an amazing drug because it comes from quinine. Where in the hell? That's really weird. I have no idea. I remember very strange. That's just weird, man. Because I remember reading it and thinking to myself, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Like, what are the odds? Wait a minute. National Institutes of Health, the use of ivermectin in the treatment of COVID-19. Okay, but I didn't think it was NIH. I thought it was a CDC. Now, how can you fool? I don't know anything about methylene blue. Did Joe really get a jab on TV? I don't know. They said that he got 5 boosters total. I mean, think about that. 5 boosters. It's like, wait a minute. That's not a vaccine. A vaccine, like polio vaccine. I got a polio vaccine when I was a kid, and that was it. You get the vaccine, you're vaccinated. This, they just kept giving you more and more and more, and it's like, wait a minute. Something's up here, guys. Why do they keep doing that? Here's my point, though. All of that was because I was making a point, and the point is, you can't trust this government anymore. You can't, period. Let me give you an example. Did Trump claim to destroy Iran's nuclear program last year? Okay, so President Trump said, and I quote, the strikes were completely, quote, completely and totally obliterated Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities. Well, there you go. Now wait, but what did the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, say last year about Iran's nuclear proliferation? Let's see. She quoted the CIA, who said that there was no evidence that they were pursuing a nuclear weapons program. No evidence. Well, wait a minute. What? Like, wait a minute. Okay, so if they weren't even trying, according to the CIA, who never makes a mistake, ever, they're on top of it, man. But if the CIA says that there's 0 chance, 0, that they're trying to have a nuclear program, well, that's pretty crazy right there. But then, that same year, Trump orders strikes on their nuclear program that the CIA says does not exist. And guess what, folks? We fucking obliterated, according to the president. Completely obliterated. 0 chance that they have a nuclear program now. That's right. That came straight from the top. President Trump, Commander-in-Chief, United States Armed Forces. We went in and fucking nailed those clowns. Backwards ass troglodytes. Thought they could hide that shit underground. Haha, not a chance. We destroyed it. I mean, the CIA said it didn't exist to begin with, so it wasn't too hard to destroy. But here's my point. Stop with the logic. That shit sucks. Let's just say that the CIA was wrong about 9/11. I mean, everything for the last 30 years. Then Trump was right. He knew something that the CIA didn't know, which was because Israel knows everything, and they told him directly. Netanyahu actually, this is what I heard, whispered it in his ear while they were in bed together. Nothing happened. They're not gay. They're sleeping together because they're in love. They love each other, but not in that weird way, like brotherly love. So when Netanyahu whispered that they still have a nuclear program, Trump said, yeah, you're probably right. My CIA is a bunch of clowns. So we went and bombed the shit out of them anyway. And then we said, okay, enough's enough. We're done. We're good. And Iran said, okay, we were going to bomb the shit out of Israel, but if you're saying that you're happy now, finally, because you got to bomb us again, okay, we'll just let it slide. And we said, ooh, that sounds evil. You're just going to walk away from a perfectly good war with us? You must have killed 1 million of your own people in the streets recently. What? Oh, and you have that nuclear program. No, you just destroyed that. First of all, it didn't exist in January of last year. And then by August, September, whenever, you destroyed it, even though it didn't exist. Now what? Well, it exists again. It does? Yes, you've been working on it since 1996. But you just said it didn't exist, and then you destroyed it anyway. It exists again. It's back. It's like that rash on your penis. Just keeps coming back, and you don't know why. Frustrating. So now we got to bomb you again. And we don't know why we got to bomb you other than your nuclear program. Well, clearly it's regime change. Well, regime change? You're not talking regime change like in Cuba. Oh, yeah, just like in Cuba and in Venezuela. Well, okay, but wait, hold on. Venezuela has a lot of oil and resources, and they were giving them to people you don't like, basically everybody in the world. But here's my point. That's part of the Monroe Doctrine. If it's in our hemisphere, it's our issue, and we're going to take care of it. Okay, but then Iran's not in your hemisphere. Unless, of course, you consider Israel to be like the capital of the United States, like Washington, the District of Washington, District of Columbia. That's not the headquarters anymore. Now it's Jerusalem. Well, now, if that's the case, then yes, the Monroe Doctrine definitely applies to Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iranistan. Look, guys, we didn't have any choice. We had to bomb them. Do you know why we had to bomb them? Does anybody want to take a guess? They tried to rebuild nuclear weapons after June 24th. Keith, God almighty, you are such a sucker. I mean, it's actually sad. It's funny, but it's sad that you believe that. Do you know how long it takes to build a nuclear program? To spin up the centrifuges, to enrich uranium, to do all these things, build a bomb? No, nothing. If they wanted one, wouldn't it be easier to just buy one from North Korea, who already has them? Just buy one. If you want a nuke that bad, just buy one. Or what about Pakistan? Just right on the other side of Afghanistan. You just go up one of the stands and over and around the stand, and then you go into the stand and you get a weapon. So easy. 100 million barrels of oil for one nuke. So easy. But it's true. Greater Israel ain't going to build itself. They refused to negotiate. Yeah, just like Maduro did. They said everything you want. And we said, okay, but you have to give up all your defense. And they said, okay, but wait, Israel attacks us like every fucking week. And we go, yeah, that's the way it's going to have to be. You don't understand, do you? You don't understand. You simply don't fucking get it yet, do you? Israel wants to take over the Middle East. It's theirs. It's theirs. You don't get it. It's theirs. And if you're in Iran, you're looking at that and you're going, hey, man, is anybody going to stand up to this shit? And Saudi Arabia is saying, hey, we do way too much business with these fuckers. Like, we make billions of dollars a day. And they're friends of the U.S., and so are we. Okay, so who's going to stand up? Who's going to say, no more, man. Quit pushing people around and bombing people. You've got some of the most insane shit in your holy book. The most insane, violent, pedophilia shit in your book. And you're judging Muslims? What? Like, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Read some of the shit that's in the Talmud, and you're going to go, no, this is a joke. This is like a bad joke. Nobody believes this. Yeah, actually, only a very small portion of Jews really believe that. But they run the country. They have Netanyahu by his balls because he is not one of them. He is not a real Jew. And because he's not, because he is as Jewish as I am. Where was my mom born? Poland. Where was his mom born? Poland. I am as Jewish as Netanyahu is. By the way, Malachowski, that's the real family last name. Malachowski? Well, that's almost as fucking Polak as Ignatovich, which is my family. Now, granted, my family were all Catholics, which is why 18 out of 20 of them were killed during World War II. But, Polacks, we don't scream Holocaust at the end of every single sentence, because there's nothing about Poland that needs to be fixed by the rest of the world right now. So Poland just wants to do its own thing. Now, of course, everybody hates that. Oh no, there's only one way to make something kosher. And believe me, I know things that a lot of people don't know. I know that most of the Jews, especially the Reformed Jews, the Jews that are just average Jews that live in Israel, they fucking hate the ultra-Orthodox. They hate the ultra-Orthodox. And the ultra-Orthodox don't even think they're Jewish. No. If you're not ultra-Orthodox, you're not a Jew. Oh, what, you think just because you can speak the language? You think because you live here, because you're a citizen? No. The ultra-Orthodox separate themselves to the point where if Israel is at war, well, send the Reformed. They're just like Goyim. They're damn near Gentile anyway, but they're definitely not us. So why did we have to bomb them? Because we were told to. We were told to. See, what people aren't putting together here is this is all tied together. Is Epstein Jewish? Yes, clearly. He brags about it. Does Epstein believe that the Jews are superior in every way to the Gentiles like you and I? Yes, he says so. That's not me. That's my opinion. That's what he says in his emails. Okay, so what does that have to do with anything? Was he a Mossad asset? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious he was. I mean, my God, it can't get any more obvious than that. Ehud Barak? Ehud Barak is not only the former prime minister, but he was in charge of the Mossad. He was in charge of the most sensitive intelligence projects that Israel has ever undertaken. Ehud Barak, the guy who went to his house in New York, to Epstein's house to get a little something, something. The day that they took pictures of him going there and then leaving, it just so happened that several apparently Russian models, tall, very good-looking women, happened to go there too. It's coincidence. They got there before him and they left after him. Coincidence. They probably didn't even see him. It's a big house, like 11,000 square feet, right? So my point is this. Epstein has all kinds of material, of leverage over the United States. Now, let's just say he died, which we all now know. We now know that he didn't die. Like, that's physically an impossibility based on the autopsy. The new stuff that just came out, well, spotted in Israel doesn't mean anything. Keith, you're so sad. Based on the autopsy, we know from his own emails that Jeffrey Epstein had his prostate removed. He had all kinds of problems with it, and it was beginning to look like he may develop prostate cancer. So he simply had his prostate removed. There are emails showing him buying Viagra and testosterone, TRT, so that he could continue to, do his thing. In the autopsy report, they talk about the health of the prostate that they removed from Jeffrey Epstein's body. Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a prostate. Whose body did they autopsy? Because it wasn't his. You don't regrow a prostate. That's impossible. There's no such thing as a prostate implant. That's not believable. So, one of two things is true. Maybe Hillary didn't. Here's my point. If Hillary is mentioned in the emails, oh, I know Hillary. But there's no emails back and forth between the two of them, and there are none. Why the fuck did they bring her in and grill her for hours when Leon Black, one of the richest men on the planet, an extremely important individual, was never interviewed? Leslie Wexner wasn't brought in way back in the day when he was a co-conspirator according to the FBI's own paperwork. A co-conspirator? Oh, you interview them. It was political theater, that's right. But I don't think the Republicans thought that through. Look, Hillary Clinton is long gone, okay? She's not a mover and shaker the way that she used to be. The Clintons are tainted goods. We all know that, okay? I liked Bill Clinton as a president. Grew up in a Republican family, very conservative. I like the fact that he was a quintessential politician. And it was so obvious that it almost seemed like he wanted you to know that, yes, I'm going to kiss your baby, but I'm also stealing her lollipop. Now, do I think that he might have done something else with the baby? No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. Bill Clinton, I know the type. I know the type. Okay? When you work with the Wall Street guys, when you work with these big time heavy duty players, you meet these types, okay? You meet the Epsteins. Okay, the Epsteins are the serpents. They're the quiet ones. Okay, they're the ones who watch. They're the ones who figure out who to manipulate. They're the psychopaths. And psychopathy is very different. Bill Clinton is not by any means a psychopath. He is extremely intelligent. He's extremely emotional. He's extremely type A. And he has some really huge flaws, like he can't say no to a pretty girl. He just can't. Now, is it a sex addiction? I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I can tell you this. Did he enjoy being president? I think he enjoyed it immensely. Did he enjoy the rush of running? Yes. Did he enjoy the thrill of making deals? Yes. Was he very, very socialist? Yes. Very, very idealistic and very socialist. I remember the Soviet leader at the time, before Gorbachev, was the alcoholic guy. He drank a lot. I remember him saying that Bill Clinton was the most socialist leader he'd ever met. More so than anybody from Europe. Like, all the socialist leaders he met weren't nearly as socialist. So that tells you a lot about Bill Clinton. I don't see Bill Clinton as the right personality type for the really evil shit. I totally see Jeffrey Epstein doing whatever is necessary. Whatever. Without blinking. So then the question is, what about these other people? What about Leon Black? I don't know. Never met him. I've never talked to him. No, Trump's not the right type. Now, is Trump a misogynist? Completely. Does he think that men are a completely different level than women? Absolutely. He thinks of women as tools and toys and nothing more. And if he can find one that is smart enough that he can use to achieve his ends, great. If he can find somebody like a Pam Bondi, and it's like, okay, she's hot and she's actually pretty smart. Okay, good. Hire her. Now, does hot have, why would that have anything to do with a legal issue? Or because that's all women are to him. They're currency. So a smart woman is okay. There are plenty of them out there. A smart, super good looking woman, yes, absolutely. Better currency. It's like having a crisp $100 bill. And that's exactly the way he looks at it. So do I see him harming children? It doesn't smell right to me. It doesn't pass the smell test. Do I think that he would say no when he was, say, 50 to a hot 20-year-old? Of course not. He wouldn't think twice about it, married or not. Absolutely not. wouldn't even consider it because he has no respect for women. Zero. None. So I don't see that as an issue at all. But I also don't see him doing any of this sort of insane satanic stuff. Pam Bondi, that's impossible. She can't be 60. I think that her IQ might be 60 now that I've seen her really under pressure. She folds like a cheap card table under pressure. You know, screaming at Thomas Massie that he was a failed politician. Failed? Are you kidding me? He has more support than just about anybody in the Republican Party right now. Like, he is King fucking Kong. Because there are a lot of people who haven't said anything yet. But when they do, when the silent majority finally cracks, it'll be the Ro Khannas and the Thomas Massies and the Rand Pauls and, God forbid, the fucking Bernies. It's not that I don't like Bernie. It's not that I don't believe Bernie. It's just that he has no spine. He is like, if I could have Central Casting give me the quintessential stereotype milquetoast, spineless, sweet old Jewish guy, that would be him. Because every time he tries to do something good, bam, he just gets kicked out of the way. And he just takes it. You can't have a leader like that. He's a nice guy, but man, Pam Bondi is 60. Well, Pam Bondi is done. I have no faith in her whatsoever. She is literally everything that's wrong with the United States of America, along with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. I believe he's dangerous now. I believe that he's actually on the verge of having a mental breakdown. That's obvious. Like, you look at him and he is just about to lose his fucking mind because he sold everything. He sold his soul. He sold his soul for power. He got the power. He lied. He cheated the American people out of what he promised them. And then that's it. He's done. Can we stop talking about Pam Bondi's fucking age? Jesus Christ. Really? Is that really important? But she looks so good. Oh, is that because she drinks the adrenochrome from babies? What the fuck? Who cares? Pam Bondi is a snake. She is the absolute fucking she is the typical stereotype of a lawyer turned lobbyist turned prosecutor. She's probably put more people, innocent human beings, in prison than I've met in my life. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. I got a 98% conviction rate. But it's been proven that the police make mistakes way more than 2% of the time. Yeah, so what? So you're prosecuting and putting innocent people in jail? Not my problem. My problem is just prosecute. Just prosecute them. So if they're innocent, well, let a jury figure that out. Wow. Lutnick, great example. Great example. Howard Lutnick. Every time 9/11 is brought up, he just kind of laughs. Yeah, I could see where you'd think that was funny. You know, it's really funny that you weren't there that day. You just happened to take your son to school for the very first time ever, and you didn't show up when 750 of your employees died. That's a hell of a coincidence. His whole team died. Yeah. So what? You think he cares? You realize, of course, that he made a fortune on that, and that he sued the insurance companies. He got twice as much as he should have. Oh yeah, and how much of that did he give to the families? Zero. Fuck Howard Lutnick. He is exactly what's wrong with the United States of America in this time period. He is everything that you have to hate about him. Pam Bondi doesn't need to clean up Eric Holder, Bill Barr, Merrick Garland mess. They hid evidence. Yeah, they should all be in jail, including Pam Bondi. They should all be in jail. If you know about a felony, if you know about child sacrifice, which, by the way, in any other term would be called murder, and you cover that up, then you should be in prison for that. Oh, didn't you hear, Jen? There is no list. Epstein had no list. He didn't traffic anybody to anybody. There is no list. There are no Epstein files. See, this is what I'm talking about, kids. There's no Epstein files. Now, who told us that? Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, and this is the one that hurts, Donald Trump. Okay, so you lied to us. It's a big lie. Not even a little lie. That's what Donald Trump said. Get over it. Let's move on. What's the problem here? It's like, okay, but Congress, who's in charge of the DOJ, just said you will release all the Epstein files, the ones you say don't exist. Okay. Here's 3.5 million pages. What? You just said they don't exist. Well, technically they exist now. We're giving them to you. That's it. That's all there is. What does that mean? What's this mean? There are more files. Maybe. How many more files might there be? 3 million. We just ordered you to turn over all of the Epstein files, and you turned over half? Yep. Okay, well, give us the others. Nope. No, we didn't ask. We make the laws. We're Congress. We make the law, and the law says, passed unanimously, says you will give us access to all of them. Nope. All right, you're going to jail. That's it. I mean, what else can you do? Seriously, what else can you do, folks? That's it. When someone breaks the law, they have to be held accountable, unless they don't. Now, if that's what my government is telling me, that I don't have to be held accountable anymore for any laws I break, well, number one, I have the fastest motorcycle ever built, literally sitting in my fucking garage. Now, I don't go super fast often, but I'd like to. So I guess that means there's no more speed limit, because that's a silly little law. That's not like raping children or murder. That's just a little law. That's like more of like a suggestion. So let's get rid of that one. But what else? What other laws can we just ignore now? Because if they can ignore the most important laws, if they can ignore the most important laws we have, Because you got to remember that if you're holding one of these little ones against their will on an island, that's kidnapping. And in this case, it's literally kidnapping. But my point is that kidnapping is a huge felony. Yeah, absolutely. Ask a question. Keith, oh my God, you really did drink the Kool-Aid. You're embarrassing yourself, man. Pam Bondi already admitted that she does have the evidence. She's got 3 million more pages that she said, no, we won't release. You think I just made that up? You think I'm pissed because I'm guessing? I'm pissed because I know. No, we don't have a bad president, Bruce. We have a bad government. We have a shitty government. We have shitty human beings running our country. We have puppets. We have really diseased men who have psychosexual fantasies that are so disgusting and polluted that they are no longer in control of their own lives. They've acted on these impulses. They've been videotaped doing it. And now they know that if this stuff ever comes out, it's over for them. So who's got the evidence? Well, I know that the US government has some of it. Who in the government? Don't know. Oh my God. Look, just, Keith, just please, just stop. At this point, you're embarrassing yourself. You realize that they literally redacted the names of the people that did this stuff, and then they actually didn't redact the names of the victims? You realize that, right? So what you're saying is exactly wrong. It's completely verifiably, demonstrably wrong. They literally have an email from an attorney saying, these are the names of the victims that must be redacted. They printed the email without redactions so that you could see all of the names of the victims that the attorney turned over. Come on, man. Why do you believe in them? I don't understand. Like, haven't you been really watching this? This is terrible, dude. I get it. That's your tribe. We don't have tribes anymore, brother. There are no Republicans. There are no Democrats. Okay? There's the Epstein class and the rest of us. There's 18,500 of them. There's 330 million of us feeding their wealth and their privilege. That's the truth. 18,500 people control 89% of the wealth and resources of this country. That is a verifiable statistic. If 18,500 people control 89% of the wealth and assets of the United States of America, that means that the other 330 million of us share the other 11% amongst ourselves. No, George Carlin didn't say it. George Carlin had it completely fucking wrong. It's not a big club. It's a tiny little group of people pulling strings and manipulating all those big fucking boxes that we call TVs and putting shit on CBS and NBC and all the places that they own, Paramount now, and saying, hey, look, you guys are so lucky. It's the best time to be alive, man. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. Vote for this guy. And oh, by the way, don't do that. Literally just like Bug's Life, just like the movie. And Netanyahu, is telling us, you better do what we say or else. Or else what, Bibi? What are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Oh, that's right. You don't care about me. I don't have enough followers. So I'm irrelevant. Okay? All right, brother. You go after the big boys. And they have. And now that they have all this dirt on all these people, do you think they want to turn over those files? If they turn over the files, guys, it doesn't work, right? Think about it. Once you out these people, once you out all those names that are in the files that we haven't seen yet, all the people that know they're being protected, once you out them, then what? Can't control them anymore, can you? Their power's gone. Their reign is over. They go home. They're not going to go to jail. They're not going to prison. But they're not going to be in control anymore either. So then you're going to have somebody else come and take their place, right? What if you get some asshole, some fucking jerk like Thomas Massie? Guy's an engineer. He lives on a farm. He lives off grid. He raises his own food. What? Come on. He's happily married. Yeah, but he's got to have a weak point. Not really. Can't really force him to do anything. Shit. Well, then I don't want guys like Thomas Massie if I can't push them around. Well, Pauline, I mean, he's a good guy for you or for me, the totally irrelevant commoner peasants. But how the hell is Israel going to benefit from him? They're not. You don't want guys like that. There's no pressure point there. If you're Israel, you want guys that are flawed. Guys like Bill Clinton. Now, did the Mossad know that Bill Clinton had maybe gotten some of his DNA on a dress and that dress was owned by a little Jewish girl named Monica Lewinsky? Oh, you bet your ass they knew. Because the girl that she was talking to, her friend, who happened to be like 30 years older than her, she was compromised too. She was the one who told Israel about all of this. And Israel tried to use it against Bill Clinton. It didn't work because, unfortunately, it came out. And guess what happened to his poll numbers when it came out? They went up. His poll numbers went up when Congress tried to impeach him over Monica Lewinsky. His polling numbers went up. Well, that's interesting. Well, silver sure is ripping. It's up 0.5%. Gold's up 1.4%. Completely unspectacular. Oil is up 70, to 70, which is up 4%. You know what that tells me? Nobody's surprised and nobody thinks this is going anywhere. Period. He was compared to JFK. That's a fact. Justice for Sasha Riley and tent stakes. Justice for tent stakes? Not following you, man. Maybe that's just something I don't know about. But bottom line is, we're in a situation now where everything that we see and we hear has been moderated, homogenized, pasteurized, boiled, cleaned, sanitized, sterilized. It's all been done before we get it. So if you're watching the mainstream media and you're saying, oh man, we really kicked their ass, that's exactly what I said on January 20th, 1981. Yep. That was the day that Reagan took over as president of the United States, and the Iranians let all the hostages go within 20 minutes. We were like, damn, that's crazy, man. They're so scared of Reagan. They were like, nope, he won. He's got elected, blah, blah, blah. They didn't think to let him go when he got elected on election night when he won. No. They waited until 20 minutes after he was inaugurated, then let him go. That's not a coincidence. Although we did actually, right after that, start selling them weapons. Yeah, the United States. The Great Satan started selling weapons to Iran so that they could fight with Iraq. And we sold a lot to Iraq, too, obviously, because, hell, why pick sides? If the Sandmen are going to kill each other, let's jump right in. So here's my point. I remember thinking, oh man, 100 hours, that is not even a war. That is such an ass kicking. We literally defeated Iraq and took over the country in 100 hours. Yes, Mikey, that's exactly what that was. The funny thing is that 100-hour war back in 1990? We drove the Iraqis back all the way to the capital. And then we stopped. People said, why did we stop? Most of you probably don't remember this. Some of you weren't old enough to remember it. Some of you are going to go, oh, fuck, I forgot about that. That's right. They asked Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney. They asked Dick Cheney, why didn't we just finish the job and go into Baghdad and actually kill Saddam Hussein? And he said, no way. No way. You go in, you decapitate a dictator like that, you have no idea what happens next. You have no idea. Nobody does. It becomes chaotic, and the regime could become a lot worse. At least we're dealing with a known quantity. We know who we're dealing with. We've dealt with him before. We know his soft spots. We can control him. We can keep him under our thumb. If we killed him, it's just not worth it, because then we have to stay there. We have to become part of the region for months, perhaps years, and it's not worth it. That was Dick fucking Cheney. Now, what's interesting is, after that, when we went back into Iraq in 2003, we said, and this was another interview on 60 Minutes with Dick Cheney, we said, do you think that we'll actually be greeted as liberators? And he said, absolutely, we will be greeted as liberators. He said, and because of that, we might not be there for 6 days or even 6 weeks. It may be 6 months, but it wouldn't be any longer than that. And then we'll be able to stand down as the people of Iraq stand up. This is the same guy who said that it wasn't worth going in and having regime change in Iraq because once you break it, you own it. The Pottery Barn theory, remember? You break it, you bought it. My question is, at what point do we as citizens start to actually listen and pay attention to what the real leadership of this country is saying and doing? Because right now, the lies are so completely obvious, so shockingly plain to see that if we don't react to this, I feel like we've signed our own death warrant as a nation. We have literally just said we give up. In 12 months, we went from the CIA says there's no nuclear program and that they're not trying to get a nuclear program. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the people who are all over Iran all the time, snooping and pooping, they say no. They're not even trying anymore. Okay. And maybe they never did. Netanyahu says they do, but he says that every week. So we went from, in 12 months, them not having a program to the Israelis saying, no, they have one and we're going to bomb it. So then we said, no, we'll bomb it because that's what America does. We do whatever Israel wants. So we went and we bombed it. And at that point, Trump said, and I repeat, President Trump said the strikes were, and I quote, completely and totally obliterated Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities. A final bomb damage assessment of the strikes was still ongoing. But we had completely and totally obliterated. And so what happened there? What? Okay, so wait a minute. So we obliterated them completely, not even slightly. Oh, another site was, so the CIA doesn't know what they're doing. So you're saying that the CIA is completely and utterly worthless and incompetent. Well, Bruce, that's a very good question. If Iran doesn't threaten us, who do they threaten? I mean, who's Iran threatening here? Come on, guys. Who are they threatening? They're not threatening me. Well, maybe they don't like Bibi. I mean, he does sort of bomb everybody in his. I mean, think about this. Until today, when the title was taken from them, Israel had the strange title of bombing the most countries in the region simultaneously, because they bombed 9 countries in one day. They literally bombed 9 other countries. What? What the fuck are you guys doing? Well, we're just bombing whoever we want. We're just dropping bombs on people. If we don't like what you say, we'll drop a bomb on you. Period. That's what we do. Whoa, that's fascist. No, that's biblical. And there's a difference, apparently. So Iran broke that record because they bombed 14 countries today. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the Mossad laughs at us. Bibi laughs at us. He actually talks, and this is the thing that I don't understand. You know, once you see the YouTube video of him telling some young people that the United States does whatever he tells them to, that Trump does what he's told. Once you see that and you go, wait, you're bragging about the fact that you can force the United States of America to do your bidding? I wouldn't brag about that if I were you. Now, granted, he didn't know he was being videotaped at the time, but still, that's like, what are you doing, man? Well, radical Christians are usually so ignorant. They're so pathetic that they are just like the ultra Orthodox Jews. They're just like the extremely Sharia law Muslims. You take all three of the most ideologically like radical groups from the three different major religions, and you put them all on an island. And that's it. No, winner doesn't take all. You stay there. Build a boat. We blow it up just like we pretend like it's a narco terrorist. Because we're done. Like there's close to 8 billion people on the planet now, I think. 7.999 billion of us want to get along and want a good life. And then there's this tiny little group of people that are radical. And they fuck everything up for all of us. And they think they're doing it in the name of God. But I would say that it doesn't matter what religion you want to kill people in the name of, you actually represent Satan. Well, you know, our president doesn't really mix words about where he's going when he dies. He's joked about going to hell. And he proved that we're not bombing Iran for ourselves. We don't need to bomb Iran. We don't have to. But since it's just your tax money, because, by the way, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars doing this. Do you think that Israel's going to pay us back a dime of it? No. They're not spending shit, man. They are literally having the United States taxpayer take care of their biggest problem. The one speed bump they have to taking over the Middle East. So, at this point, we either take it or we decide we're not going to take it anymore. Now, I think it's going to take a lot more pain. I think it's going to take a lot more pain, actually. Oh, yeah. I heard him lie. President of the United States just getting up there and just lying through his teeth. He said that the USS Cole was because of Iran, right? But we all know that Al Qaeda did that. We all know that was Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden is a Sunni Muslim. Al Qaeda is a Sunni Muslim organization. They are not Shias. Shias and Sunnis do not cooperate, period, under any circumstances. They have been at war with each other for about 1,600 years. When you say they, you mean Israel? Yes. They are moving towards a one world government, their government. And us Goyim, all of us little Gentiles can do their bidding. That's literally what one of the Epstein emails said. Let the Goyim deal with the real world. Unbelievable. I don't think that liberals are anti-American. I just think that they've got some goofy ideas. Some of their ideas are great ideas. They just don't work. But, again, part of the problem with socialism is it doesn't work when it's different groups of people. Socialism only works when it's a group of people that look alike and have the same background, that are from the same tribe, so to speak. So welfare doesn't work in the United States because white people don't like paying for black people. Now, I can try to soften that somehow and be dishonest, or I can do what I do best, which is just say it. So, I heard all the horror stories when I was a kid about that one fat black woman who had 10 kids with 10 different guys, and the only reason she had all those 10 kids was so that she could get welfare for every one of them. None of them had shoes, but she had a Gucci purse. I heard that story over and over and over and over again. Well, as it turns out, there's a lot of people from a lot of different countries and a lot of different colors that scam welfare. There's no principles left in this country, so it's all about personalities, which means welfare doesn't work anymore. Socialism can't work here because the United States of America is completely divided. Back in the 60s, and this is really insane, but you can go back and check this. Back in the 60s, people were asked if they would be willing to pay higher taxes, and 80% of Americans said yes. 80% of Americans said yes, they'd be willing to pay higher income taxes if it went to a good cause. What? To a good cause? What the fuck are you people thinking? Like, what kind of cause are you talking about? Well, back then, I'm sure it was probably like, going to the moon or fighting communism or a better education system. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, because there's nothing that you could name now, like nothing. Like if you ask people today, would you be cool paying higher income tax? They'd be like, fuck you. I get nothing from it. Good point. No, the Peace Corps. Yeah, it's a good point. So that's Nene, that's like asking, do you still beat your children? Do you? Would you be okay not beating your kids anymore? Paid higher taxes for the starving Armenians. I have never met a starving Armenian in my fucking life. And by the way, having grown up in Hollywood and Beverly Hills, Little Armenia is literally a few miles away. And yes, I had Armenians in my family by marriage. So I think you spelled something wrong, but Armenians? I don't know what that means. Some have become sovereign citizens to not pay income tax. Yeah, they'll go to prison at the end of a Glock. That sovereign citizen shit, that doesn't fly with the IRS. And by the way, it may be perfectly legal to be a sovereign citizen, and it may be perfectly constitutional, but that doesn't matter. What we're doing in Iran right now is completely and utterly unconstitutional, and nobody gives a flying fuck. The Constitution is an ass-white piece of paper now. It's a document that has no meaning because none of us are willing to stand up for it. And the document itself can't fight for its own rights. That was supposed to be our idea. Palestine, it's gone. There's no Palestine anymore. What does that even mean, Palestine? Palestine ceased to exist back in the late 1800s when Jews started moving in and saying, hey, this is Israel. And the Palestinians said, oh, not really, but whatever. Okay, well, then that's it. And so what do we go by? Who got there first? Well, possession's 9/10 of the law. That means the Palestinians were there because the other guys left thousands of years ago. Why'd they leave? I don't know, but you left. So you abandoned the property. Yeah. Okay, so it's not your property anymore. No, it's not true. So wait, you can just leave a country and then if you don't come back, nobody else is allowed to live there either? Right. The whole claim is stupid. Let's see. I'm being restricted. Just because I don't meet the eligibility requirements. So I'm being restricted because no reason. $241 Marines, huh? Let's see. Who attacked the U.S. embassy in Lebanon? Hezbollah, with the direction and support from Iran. It was the first major attack on a U.S. diplomatic mission by the group. Interesting. I didn't know it was Hezbollah that did it. How many times have we bombed Iran since then? And by the way, 1983, let me think. 1983, is that 43 years ago? 53, 43, right? 43 years ago. All right, so we're pushing half a century. Holy shit, what about the USS Cole? Yeah, that's actually, that was the lie that Trump told when we started this. He said that Iran was behind that, but clearly the USS Cole was attacked by Al Qaeda, and Osama bin Laden took credit for it publicly, said he did it, and Al Qaeda is a Sunni Muslim group put together by the CIA in Afghanistan. Didn't know that part, huh? The CIA started Al Qaeda, just like Israel started Hamas. What the fuck? It's almost like they want to go to war because they make so much money on it. Oh, God. The Pakistanis? No, I saw was it Lebanon? No, somewhere else I saw, I thought it was Lebanon. I saw people attacking the embassy. We're not going to find out about that. That's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to find out. On the Eisenhower, okay. So you were probably in the Med, right? In the Mediterranean? Claiming, I don't know, man. That's the crazy part is, how many times do we have to see attacks like this before and I'll give you an example. I mean, 9/11 is just so like there's so much shit that does not add up. It just doesn't add up. Now, does the barracks bombing add up? Well, I do remember that it was pretty straightforward. It was a suicide bomber with a pickup truck full of explosives, rammed the gate, and yeah, he blew himself up. And I was in the Marine Corps at the time, and I remember thinking to myself, God, I hope they give us live rounds. I just hope they give us live rounds because I just wanted to go shoot everybody in the Middle East. That's what you do when you're 18, 19 years old. "53 French paratroopers." Jesus, I didn't even know about that. Of course, the United States, we're kind of egocentric. We don't care about other people's kids. And by the way, Lindsey Graham said that not to worry, that if any of your kids pay the highest price, that in his opinion, the sacrifice was well worth it. You can't make that up. I'm curious. Lindsey Graham. I mean, I think we can all agree that Lindsey Graham is the most evil, like the most worthless piece of shit in the entire government. Like, he's not worthless, he's actually dangerous, extremely dangerous. All right, so he's a neocon, advocate for interventional. He's an interventionist. He wants to bomb Iran his entire life. He grew up wanting to bomb Iran. He was a lawyer in the Air Force. Some hardcore shit there. Ground pounder, huh? He got a Bronze Star for nothing. Let's see. Does he have... Uh-oh. I just got another restriction. Man, they're just beating on me. Let's see. U.S. House of Representatives, personal life. Nope. There you go. I just got kicked off of TikTok. You got to love it, guys. That's what happens. I got kicked off of TikTok because of misinformation. Okay. Do I agree with this? No, of course not. What can you do? Appeal. TikTok does not contain. I was quoting Wikipedia. Okay, now let's see if they give me the whole deal back, because they won't, but it's okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. I got 21,000 likes, 7,000 views. That's the good news. Mr. Trump is getting things done. That's right. He's killing all kinds of people. Well, that's like saying that aren't Palestinians just reject Egyptians? Yeah, that's like saying that Israelis, that the Jews are just reject Egyptians too. They just couldn't build the pyramid fast enough, and they got kicked out of town. Yeah, that's what happened. Although there is actually zero evidence that they were ever enslaved by the Egyptians, and that back in the days of the pharaohs, it looks like the Jews were actually trading with the Egyptians pretty much the entire time, and that when a small group of them fled Israel for some reason, um, that they were welcomed in Egypt. They stayed in Egypt on a river. Yes, I did get booted. Of course, I got booted off the Tic Tac because of misinformation. What do you do? You know, somebody mentioned to me that the embassy bombings were because of Iran, which I didn't know, because I've been saying that Iran's never attacked us. So I went and checked, and yeah, Hezbollah did it. So that's Iranian backed. So yeah, I guess Iran has attacked us back in 82 or 83. So I mean, still, it was 43 years ago. It was basically half a century ago. But okay, we still got a score to settle with them, I guess. Even though the leaders who did that are dead, their kids who were in kindergarten are now my age or close to it. But yeah, okay, still, we'll just go back over there and kick their ass anyway. Even though after 9/11, President Ahmadinejad said that he would be happy to sign a deal with President Bush that said he would never sell oil to the United States of America for over $40 a barrel, guaranteed. And we said, no, we don't need your fucking oil. Third largest producer of oil in the Middle East, and we said, nah, fuck you, we don't need your oil. $40 a barrel is looking pretty good right now that it's 70. But, hey, I guess we just didn't want Ahmadinejad's help. Now, I do remember also that there were huge banners being held up and big million-person protests in Tehran on 9/12. And they said the banner said things like, we are all Americans today, and down with Al-Qaeda, and we stand against America's enemies. It was really weird. And then, of course, the other thing that Iran did was they said that if we needed to use their military bases to stage our attacks on Al-Qaeda, that we could. And apparently, in the very early stages of our going after Afghanistan, that little 20-year-long war, in the very early stages, we did actually use Iran and their airspace and their military bases. So we were buddies then. But then, you know what they did? They went and bombed us again. No, they didn't bomb us again. They threatened. No, they didn't threaten. They started to build a nuclear weapon. No, they didn't do that either. That's a tough one. What did they do exactly? Not a damn thing. They did nothing. Oh, except when they heard about Israel taking over most of the Middle East, and that was an actual plan, that wasn't just, it is written in the Bible. That was more like, oh, and we're going to do that now. Then they started to oppose Israel vehemently. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. All I know is this. We're not being told the truth. We're being lied to. The same people who are protecting the Epstein monsters are now protecting the Israel monsters. That's it. Are all Jews bad? Of course not. Not even close. There's a lot of Reformed Jews that are about as Jewish as I am, The only difference between me and them is probably eat just a little more bacon than they do. But other than that, are there people in Israel that are truly obscene in their beliefs? truly, deeply disgusting. They read from a book that is over 1,000 years old that talks about things that you can do with children that are absolutely unconscionable today. Their book says it is nothing. Literally, that's the quote. It is nothing to do that with a child. They say that it's okay to kill Gentiles. They say that to eat with a Gentile is like eating with a dog, that we're not humans in the real sense of the word like they are. And it says that Jesus was a false prophet who's burning in excrement, a lake of it, because he's not who he said he was. Now, if you're a Christian and you support that, think about what I just said. Because the bottom line is, if you're a Christian, if you believe in Christ and you believe what they're saying about Christ, it's impossible. That's completely and utterly insane. Like, completely insane. No sanity. Like, you are gone. Bye-bye. How can you call yourself a sane, rational human being and say that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and he practices black magic and he's a false prophet who's burning in a lake of excrement? Or better yet, if you don't believe that he's burning in a lake of excrement, why are you supporting the people who do, who spit on you in public and openly mock you and hate you? That's the question. Why would you do that? And I get it. I get it. I've talked to women who have said the only reason he hits me is because I make him crazy. But I only make him crazy because he loves me so much. That's sad. It's not as uncommon as I wish it were, but that's the United States of America. That's what we say to Israel when they say, go over here and attack them. And we do. And we lose hundreds or thousands of our children. Legs blown off, arms blown off, blinded, maybe really bad traumatic brain injury. They don't know why they're crying. They don't know why they're upset. They don't know why they just burst out laughing. There's nothing funny. They're scared shitless because they don't recognize their bedroom. That's what we do for them. And what do they do for us? They spit on us and they mock us. Yeah, turning the other cheek. There's also something in the New Testament about dusting off your sandals, leaving. And I think it's that time. I don't want to attack Israel. I don't want to decimate Israel. I don't want to wipe them off the map. I just want them to go the fuck away and leave us alone. Let us have the same things they have. Free healthcare? What? How'd you guys pull that off? Good with money. Wait, free universities? We got $1 trillion in debt just from universities. 1.9 trillion. You know what? Let's look. How much debt do we have because of student loans? Student loans, let's see. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. local debt, state debt, federal debt. Come on, man. I know it's in here. I've seen it. I thought I saw it before. Maybe not. I'm thinking about it. It's like, okay, but where was it? Living in poverty, U.S. bankruptcies, student debt. Shit, I don't see it anywhere in here. That's too bad. I really wanted to see how much our student debt was. Credit card debt is, wait, what? Hundreds, thousands, millions, billion. What? 49 trillion? No, that can't be right. Okay, so these are hundreds. These are thousands. It's 100,000, million, 100 million, billion. What? We have 49 billion in credit card debt? What the hell? Well, that's terrifying. Okay, so I don't see it in here anywhere. I'll have to look later. But yeah, debt per taxpayer, $356,000 each. That's how much the government has spent on your behalf. That's what you owe the government. Unbelievable. Wow, that's crazy. The top 33 million people in the country have an average wealth of $20 million. The bottom 50% of the United States, which would be 165 million people, have an average of $35,000 net worth. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. Median income. That's just bananas. In 2000, an average home was 160,000. Now it's 413. An average car was 22. Now it's 51. Average income 31,000. Now it's 51,000. So it's gone up by 20,000, which would be what, roughly 40%. Everything else is doubled or tripled. Oh, college tuition, 2000, 10 grand. Now, 27. Wow. Now, here's one that is absolutely stunning. This is crazy. The amount of people, the amount of people not in the workforce is 103 million. Not in the labor force. Not in the labor force. That means that unemployment is 30%. Do the math. Persons who are neither employed nor unemployed are not in the labor force. This category includes retired people, students, those taking care of children or other family members, and others who are neither working nor seeking work. So a third of the country doesn't work. Wait a minute. Full-time workers, 135 million. Part-time, 28 million. Let's call that 30. So that's 165 million people between full-time and part-time. 165 million? 165 million is only half the country. So full-time workers plus part-time workers is half the country. Interesting. Let's see. Actual unemployed right now, 14 million people. How do they get these statistics? That's what I want to know. That's very strange. By the way, if you're a government employee, municipal employees, there's 20 million of those. And the good news is for you that you don't make 51,000. You make an average salary of 74,000. So being a government employee is the only way to go here, clearly. Because if you work for yourself or you work for another company, you get screwed. But if you work for the government, well, then you can make enough to survive. And, if there's two people working for the government in the family, well, you may actually get a vacation. And if you save up for 10 or 12 years, you might be able to afford, I don't know, Disney World for 2 days at about $2,000 a day. Just crazy. Candy bars. There's a metric we should use. Actually, we should use beer. Metal going way up during war. Yeah, that's why I said the other day when people were asking me, I was like, I don't know. It could go up, it could go down. I don't know. And the reason I said that is because it's now up a total of 0.5%. But then again, this isn't really a war, is it? I mean, it's not a war in the normal sense. A total war is we go in, we bomb, we hit the beach, Marines start to push across the continent, and we kill every combatant we come across unless they surrender, and then we take them as a prisoner of war. And that's a war. Right now, what we're doing is we're just bombing. We're just dropping bombs on another country. And they're dropping bombs on other countries. And everybody's just, it's basically like everybody's got their slingshot out. And they're just putting out each other's windows for the most part. And, if it escalates, then so be it. But I don't think it's going to. I think this is a typical Israel using the United States to push their hegemony of the region. They want to be in charge of everything in the Middle East, well, the world really, but the Middle East for now. They want the Greater Israel Project. Everybody talks about it. Everybody says it's their goal. Nobody takes them seriously, except apparently Iran's taking them pretty seriously, and that's why they've got to go. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Strait of Hormuz, because that should have made the price of oil go to $100, and it didn't. Why it didn't? No idea. Absolutely no clue. Why is it up only $3 a barrel? No clue. Makes 0 sense whatsoever. It should be absolutely skyrocketing right now. And by the way, there have been ships that have passed through the Straits of Hormuz. They were Chinese ships, and the Iranians let them go. Said, oh no, you guys go ahead. They've bottled up the Straits of Hormuz, but not for the Chinese. Think about that. We are creating enemies around the world, and we are creating blowback that people like us, the commoners, the little people, we're going to pay for it. The people up top, they never pay for it, ever. They never pay for it. But we're gonna, for sure. So just keep that in mind. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for sure.